YouTube, what is up? How is everybody doing? We have just seen Chainsaw Man episode number 3, man. That was amazingness. It's crazy how you can get such power, such comedy, such everything into it, while at the same time just having like a lot of brutality and having a lot of other things within it as well as like discovering a little bit of information in the process of everything as well, to be fair with you. But yeah, so we saw Denji and Power versus the Bat Demon. That's the main focus point of the episode. But before we get into that, we saw Makima go towards her superiors about how Denji and everybody and the Demon Slayers were obviously pawns, and how that other governments suspect that the demons are being used as part of the army in some way, which in all honesty, if you had an army with demons ranked into it, or demon hunters ranked into it, you could honestly become quite unstoppable. You'd become quite a force that nobody would ever really want to mess with too much. Like, in actuality, like, you'd be quite powerful. Probably one of the most powerfulest countries on the planet. So yeah, it makes total sense why a lot of countries would be worried about that. I totally get that, for sure. And then we don't really see much of Hayakawa during this one. It's literally just mostly Makima, mostly Power. Then obviously, we see that Power and Denji get scolded at the very beginning for obviously Power going absolutely crazy at the end of the last episode. And she tricks Denji with her boobs in order to try to get her cat to be rescued. Instead of asking him politely, thinking he's human, taking him towards the Bat Demon and basically allowing the demon to feed upon Denji's blood. And yeah, like, the demon comes back, grows his arm back, but the main thing that we know Denji is looking for is boobs, and this whole episode is just him like shouting for boobs, shouting for Opie, for just being absolutely hilarious for the majority of the episode. He turns full Chainsaw Man just to rip apart the Bat Demon in order to rescue Power and the cat who got eaten, which is sad because it's cute. The only person that Power actually cares for are cats. It kind of reminds me of my other half quite a lot. She's very much into, or very much like cares for cats and loves cats to that degree. So I totally get it because I'm the same way, and like I could totally see where she's coming from. As in all honesty, a lot of the times I'd rather have a cat than a human around me, to be fair with you, because I don't know. I'm not the most sociable person in the world, so I can imagine if you're like basically mostly demon. Like, there's no way you'd want to be around humans all the time. That's your food, in essence. It's like chilling with chickens or with some other kind of meat that you could eat. Yes, you can, but is it really going to be worth it? Is there really better ways you could go? Cats have a much more robust relationship with humans than what our food does, because we don't eat cats unless you're Chinese. So, it makes total sense. Or is that dogs? One of those, but either way. And yeah, like, it was a fun episode. It was full of brutality, full of blood, full of gore. We learned a little bit more about the organisation. Not a whole lot. This was just, for the most part, a pure action episode. So there isn't really much for me to talk about. To be perfectly honest, I can just speculate on a couple of things that I've seen online, a couple of other things that, like, we see that the organisation may be a lot bigger than what we are expecting, and I know for sure that that Makima is not going to be the happy saviour that I think Denji thinks she's going to be. I think I've already said this anyway, but I have a feeling she's going to become worse. I think the Yakuza is going to be the very least of his problems. I know they wrecked his life. I know they deserve to die, but I believe it's going to get worse. Yes, he can now afford drinks whenever he wants to. He can afford to eat. He's living a good life. He gets to kill things. He can transform into demons. But what happens when they don't need him anymore? What happens when they make him do things he doesn't want to do? When his goal for boobs becomes something more, but he gets laid, he does all these other things that he's been wanting to do his entire life. And he gets to do everything. Like, what then? Is he just going to be like, you know what? I just want to be free eventually. Freedom is going to be the main option, and is that going to be a possibility? I don't think so. I think it's going to be more like death for Denji if he does try to get away. As if you've got an entire country or an entire world organisation coming after you, then that's a whole different way, a whole different atmosphere. So I can see that we're building the characters, and I don't know what the big bad is going to be just yet. I hope it's going to be something amazing. I could be mistaken. It could be actually that the organization itself is the big bad, but we'll see as time goes on. I think it's the 12th episode season, so I'm assuming we'll find out the big bad around episode 6 or 7, maybe a little bit sooner. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see whether Power survived being eaten, whether the kitty survived being eaten, whether he managed to rescue, whether he gets his like contract to Boobs now that he's rescued the cat, or if the cat dies, maybe he won't get to touch Boobs anymore because Power offered him her boobs in order for him to go with her and to rescue a cat. And you get the idea, because obviously we have Denji, who is very much attached to Pochisa, and yeah, we get that idea. Hopefully the next ones have a lot more depth to them. Like, this was awesome, but it was mostly just gore, mostly just action with a few comedic elements thrown into there, and of course a little bit of arguments between the organization as well. Why do we keep these demons? Why do we find them interesting? Why do we do a lot of other things? And yeah, interesting. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, evening, good night, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Just let me rest again.